When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If this video gets 100 likes, I will create the next part immediately afterwards. Now, let's continue where we last left off. As All For One stepped through the black portal, when he got to the other side, he found himself on a tall building in Gotham City. As he stares down upon the chaotic streets of Gotham City in the middle of the night, while Gary stand a little bit behind All For One. As he approached the edge of the roof, as Gary looks down upon the streets, right next to his master, as several portals open up right behind them, as several low-end nomus come walking out of the portals that Gary created, destroy everything, cause havoc on the chaotic streets of Gotham City, attack all the big hitters, but don't kill them. Now go. All of the different nomus jump off in different directions to cause chaos to all the big hitters in Gotham City. Orders, my master. Simply wait and watch. This Batman will come to us. There's no reason to search for him. This is only to get his attention. Think he'll take the bait, master? Of course he will. This Batman is very prideful. I know this Bruce Wayne better than his so-called friends on the Justice League. I know everything there is to know about Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. Anyone that All Might has contact with, I investigate very thoroughly. These American heroes are far more powerful than the ones in Japan. Despite how powerful they are, they all have a weakness. Everyone has a weakness. And I know majority of their weaknesses. I could easily dismantle this Justice League if I choose to. So this is the city where my son lives. I wonder what the boy is up to now. Shall I fetch him, master? No need. My son is currently in the ocean. It's far too soon for our first meeting. I have no doubt he's making a name for himself. After all, he is my blood. As we cut back to Atlantis, a few days has passed since Terra was attacked by a group of Atlanteans that were following orders from Orem. Terra would act kindly and caring towards Orem, the half-brother of the King of Atlantis. But in truth, he's waiting for him to make a mistake so he could finally eat him. They might act friendly in public, but in private, they're playing a deadly game of chess. Terror would purposely expose himself to see if Orem would take the bait. Terror would purposely enter secluded areas just to see what he would do. This is just a many of games they would play with each other. And Arthur and Mara are unaware of the conflict between Terra and Orem. Terra has already survived through many attempts of poisoning through his food. Orem is still unaware that Terra is immune to all kinds of poisons, pretty much all of them, because of his natural ability to make all poison that enter his bloodstream completely harmless. Terra is quite enjoying this game between him and the food. He wants to see how long Orem can last until he starts making mistakes and resulting in revealing himself and his true intentions, as Terra wouldn't outright tell his mother or the food, her husband, of his intentions. That would be no fun. The game would be a long. It would have been ended a long time ago, and he has no desire to end the game they're playing. The side of him that wants to make him suffer, he gets it from his old man, all for one. They continued their little games for several months, when Orem finally started to make mistakes by acting oddly, making Mira and Arthur a little suspicious with his recent actions. Nothing to prove that he's a traitor, but disappearing for long periods of time, making weird patrols outside of Atlantis territory. Arthur is mostly concerned over his brother, but Mara, on the other hand, is starting to distrust him, little by little bit. Mara has always tried to form a bond between him and her. After all, their family. Every attempt she tried to befriend her brother-in-law, and in failure, like he doesn't want to form any close bonds with her. The Queen of Atlantis has many worries about her brother-in-law, but that had to be put on the hold for now, for at least for the time being. They're finally beginning to starting to be sorry, let's try this again. Finally started to begin peace talks with the shark people. They're no longer in war with each other. They haven't been in war in for generations. They might not be in an active war, but they're not friendly towards each other. Both kingdoms are still at odds. Mara would love to bring all the kingdoms in harmony. That's why she started the peace talks with the most hostile kingdom in all the ocean. Izuku was requested to be present during the peace talks. As a predator, himself, Mara would most appreciate his insight during the peace talks. His help is invaluable. As Terror is sitting at the table with Arthur and Mara at a agreeable location between the King of Atlantis, Arthur, and Prince Shark, the king of the shark people. I don't know what race he is, and I know King Shark has several origins, so I'm just picking him a custom one. So let's just continue forward. Terra watches the humongous hammerhead shark with his personal guards all sit down at the table. I never foresaw having this sort of talks with Atlanteans of all people. So let's get started. Wouldn't you agree, King of Atlantis? Completely agree. Shall we commence? Proceed. Mira showed him the treaty that was written up, pretty much written up. If you have any concerns, Prince Shark, we could add and remove at your leisure. It's important we form this alliance. Our two people has been at each other's throats for far too long. Easily remove anything you don't agree upon in this treaty. I do wish for our two people to coexist peacefully. I want to avoid such past events that happened between our two people. I don't wish to repeat our mistakes. Completely agree with you, Arthur. My people are barely recovering from our war from your Atlanteans from many generations ago. Ever since my brother stepped down from the throne and passed the responsibility up to me, I've been trying my best to stir my people away from the path of destruction. I do, and I am curious about the new one. If I remember right, there's never been a predator in Atlantis. Yet, I see a young predator sitting right next to you, Queen Mira. I thought predators were not allowed in Atlantis. I'm just mostly curious. I figured this would be brought up eventually. I'll allow my wife to explain. Correct. There was once a law like that, but but that was changed since us a generation ago. During during my husband's father's reign. Prince Shark, I'd like to introduce my son, Terror. Son, you say? He looks nothing like Arthur. He doesn't even look like a Atlantean. No disrespect, of course. Just just by observing the young predator's appearance. As Mara turned her attention toward her son, as Terror nod, saying it's all right to tell him, turned her attention towards Prince Shark. You're correct. Arthur is not the father of my son, nor did I give him birth myself. Long story short, he was created by a mixture of different type of DNA from different type of people. Of course, I don't know exactly all the DNA was used to create him, but he has the DNA from different type of people, races. He has the blood of an Amazon and human blood alongside with different type of predators. Well, I know the method of his birth. Fascinating and very disturbing. So I take it the surface dwellers was responsible for his creation? If they are, that's very troubling. Indeed, I've already made peace with his creator. I'm only one of his mothers. He has two others. And he's acquainted with your brother, King Shark. True, young predator. Me and King Shark have a friendship. He's more like an older brother, if anything else. Me to stay away from your territory. When I was allowed to explore the sea finally, to my heart content, I have my worries about the surface dwellers hearing this information, but a friend of my brother's is a friend of mine. Let's see this draft of this peace treaty you've already made up. This indeed would benefit my people greatly if we agree upon this peace treaty. There's a couple of things that that has my concern, but we could hatch that out. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Sorry, I don't see why not. We can't proceed. I would also like to have a conversation with your son, Mara. I find him very interesting. He's indeed a very unique and rare life form. I don't see why not, Prince Shark. I take it there's a few things you're unsure of. According to this treaty, you want to send a ambassador to my kingdom, and I send ambassador to yours. Normally, that would be impossible, but I'm willing to compromise. I will allow Atlantean to be a emissary, but considering the new information I just learned, I believe the young predator over there, would be the perfect choice. Like when you're getting at, Prince Shark. Calm down, Queen Mara. A normal Atlantean would not be received very well in my kingdom. And Terra over there is a predator and an Atlantean. My people will be more at ease with a fellow predator in entering my kingdom. I'll send my brother to your kingdom in return. You've already had past dealings with my brother, if I remember right. Give me a moment with my husband. As Mara left the room with Arthur, leaving the two predators in the room by themselves. Young one, you haven't displayed your thoughts on the matter yet, Terror. Technically not part of this kingdom, but I do see the logic in what you're suggesting. If one of those foods came into your kingdom as an emissary, they would have been tore to pieces instantly if the food didn't last the first hour of entering your kingdom. But I don't have any experience with this sort of thing. Fighting, I got down. And even hunting, I got down in the bag. But this sort of work I've never done before. The way I could see this to work is to make me an official member of the royal family, claiming me in a way. It has its own problems I would have to deal with. There's many Atlanteans who are very unhappy how close I am with Queen Mara, my mother. Of course, they don't know that I'm her son, but nevertheless, there's still resentment and suspicion when it comes to me. They might be accepting I'm a predator, but they will always be suspicious of me. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Regardless if you've been claimed or not, you're technically the son of Queen Mara, and you are a prince, regardless if you've been claimed or not. It's tedious, I know, with tradition and all that. Being part of the royal family, I can sympathize with you there. Can't say I'm not curious about your territory and your kingdom. I always found the stories fascinating when King Shark would share about his kingdom and how he grew up. They were always fascinating tales. In truth, I could really use a fellow predator's help with a little problem I have in my territory, but we could discuss that later, at a later date. It looks like they have finally returned. We've talked it over. We came up with a solution. Take it from here, considering it has to do with my son. What you're suggesting would fix a lot of problems on both sides. If I allow this, I'm going to have to announce Terror as my son publicly. I have no problem doing that. I actually been meaning to do that sooner or later. I can't make the decision alone. I want to get my son's opinion. I'm not going to lie to you, son. If you do this, you'll be helping me a lot. This will be a big step forward towards coexisting with the rest of the sea life, or sea people, and well, the different sea species. If Atlantis is able to strike a peace treaty with Prince Shark, the other kingdoms shouldn't be a problem. They should be easy enough to convince for peace. I don't really have any experience in this sort of thing, but I yet again, at the same time, I have no problem with it. I'm quite curious about their territory and culture. I believe I can learn a lot from Prince Shark. Sorry, from Prince Shark people. Very well, we'll reconvene at a later date. There's much to be done. We'll meet here when we have everything set up on our end. We'll send a message. Understood, Queen Mara. I look forward to your message. Terror, Arthur, Mara, I shall take my leave until we meet again. May the reef protect you. Mara watches Prince Shark leave back to his territory. I want to thank you for doing this and for being here. Help us bring peace to the ocean, and I don't think he would have been so accepting if you weren't here. I'm not going to lie to you, Mother. I'm not going to try to understand the politics that are involved in this sort of talks. But if this helps you in some way, Mom, then I'm more than happy to do so. It looks like I'll be staying in the ocean longer than I thought. Don't worry, I'll inform Ivy with the situation. Things are going to get a lot more busier back at the palace. There's a lot of things we have to get set and into motion. Once I claim you and announce you to the people of Atlantis, you'll be a prince of Atlantis. There's going to have there's going to be a ceremony to proclaim you as a citizen of Atlantis. We're going to have to do that as well. As all the three Atlanteans returned to Atlantis, as soon as they got to the castle, Mira bolted off to get everything ready to proclaim her son in the public eye, getting things all set it up and taking care of a lot of traditions that needs to be upholded. She wants everything she wants everything to be perfect. Big part of her is happy and excited to announce Terror as her son, as a prince of Atlantis. Mira fully knows that Terror won't have any authority to take the throne because he's not a full-blooded Atlantean. Only full-blooded Atlanteans have any right to the throne. That's why Aram never was selected to be the next king of Atlantis, because Arthur is the biological son of the past king and queen of Atlantis. Only purebloods can ascend to the throne. That's been a tradition since Atlantis was formed. The next few days, Terror had to learn many different types of Atlantean customs. Meanwhile, Aram was plotting in the shadows. He's willing to accept a lot of things, but this is where he draws the line, making that abomination part of the royal family. He sees Terror as a threat that needs to be dealt with. He'll bide his time until the perfect moment to strike, and the perfect moment to strike is almost upon him. He'll strike right in the middle of the ceremony. The day eventually came to do the ceremony, where they were halfway through the ceremony, with the doors bolted open, as trench come piling out of the doors and windows. Somehow they found themselves in the castle of Atlantis. This is what the normal trench looked like. Get behind me. How did he even get here unnoticed? No idea, Mira. This shouldn't be possible. I saw Father eradicate every single trench. How are they still alive? I thought they were wiped out a long time ago. Mira heard her son scream out in pain as he's holding on to his head, as she ran over to her son's side while Arthur is covering her, so she doesn't get attacked by any random trench. For some reason, the trench is not attacking. Arthur and Mira could hear clapping as Urim comes swimming into the room in his full Ocean Master attire. Went on, brother. Why aren't the trench attacking you? Quite simple, brother. Me and the Trench Queen have a agreement. Mira noticed Ocean Master is carrying some sort of device in his hand. Not only did a trench surround Arthur, Mira, and Terror, Arthur could see many Atlantean soldiers all aiming their weapons towards him and his wife. As Arthur grumbles, traitors, under his breath. Willing to withstand a lot of things, brother. I can't even I can't even live with peace treaty with the shark people, even though I find their kind vile. But this I will not tolerate. Making our kingdom weak, proclaiming that abomination as one of us. That's where I draw the line. That abomination should be exterminated. I thought my first attempt would succeed, but the abomination proved to be more tenacious than originally thought. Forgotten you killing my friend, monster. What do you mean, first attempt? We're always slow, brother. It's quite simple. Allow me to spell it out for you, brother. I ordered some of my men to kill the abomination. They never came back. Even after I tried to poison the abomination, he still lived. I had to reevaluate my plans. A little. This device in my hand, the abomination's completely harmless at my mercy. As he pressed the button further, as terror screams out can be heard throughout the chambers of the castle. You gotta appreciate the combination between Atlantic tech and Atlantic magic. Atlantic magic basically is a combination between the two. Did I just hear you say you tried to have my son assassinated? As Mara's hair is covering her eyes, as she's staring down to the floor. Oh, yes, I did, and that wasn't the only attempt on that creature's life. I was quite surprised to find out it was immune to poison. After I kill you and my brother, and that abomination over there, I'll dissect the creature. Then I'll declare war on the surface world. If they have the capability of creating such a abomination, they're a threat. I suggest you accept your death with dignity. I'm going to kill you. As Mira hugged Terror, while turning her head over to Ocean Master. Take them all away. As the Lantian military, loyal to Aurum, start aiming their weapons. As they all open fire, all of the Lantian soldiers shot out some beamed out of their weaponry. It's the newest weaponry that Ocean Master had commissioned. They're stun rifles to subdue any Atlantean. It's really effective, stunning Arthur and Mara to the ground as the trench has Arthur down to one knee alongside with Mara as Ocean Master slowly walks towards his brother and take the trident from him, then backhand Arthur in the face. Don't worry, I'll take good care of Atlantis in your place, brother. And I am no longer Aurum. I am the King of Atlantis, Ocean Master. As Ocean Master has a smirk on his face, from today forward, I am the new King of Atlantis. And you will die, brother. There's no way around that. Can't have you interfering in my plans. Enjoy what time you have left. And you, Mira, will share the same fate as your husband. As Ocean Master turns his attention towards the life form that has his total disdain, and you, abomination, your death won't be fast. As he tilted his chin up with the trident, I will take great pleasure in making you suffer. I expect me and you are going to get quite acquainted with each other. As he kicked Terra in the face, Terra tried to attack Ocean Master only for Ocean Master to increase their frequency of the device in his hands, making Terra scream out of pain. As Terra is digging his claws into the ground of the palace. You played the game well, Abomination. But I was better. Take them all away. And put the Abomination in the deepest level of the prison. While Arthur and Mara and Terra were being dragged away, Ocean Master walked up to the throne and sat down with a smirk on his face, satisfied that he finally won what he truly desired. He is the king of Atlantis. That should have been his to begin with by birthright alone. He's already having planned for the remaining members of the Council of Atlantis to be all executed in secret. Ocean Master immediately made a cover story to tell the public that their king and queen were killed alongside with Terra by surface dwellers assassins that was sent by the Justice League. A total lie, but majority of the Atlantis will believe it. After all, the general population still believe Orem to be a loving brother and a proud warrior. The Ocean Master, needs to rile up the general population so he could stage a full-scale war on the surface. Then he'll publicly make a treaty with the Trench Queen when the surface dwellers are dealt with. Then he could start targeting every single kingdom that doesn't fall in line. And finally, Atlantis will rule the entire sea. He full well attempts to betray the Trench Queen at the end of it. He'll kill her himself. But for now, they're good tools to have around. But Ocean Master knows that the surface dwellers are a threat. His role, especially the Justice League, but he needs to play his hand just right. So when the time comes, when they finally figure out what's going on, it would be already too late for them to do anything. Terror was separated from Arthur and Mara. Atlantean guards threw Terror in a very secured cell in the depths of underneath Atlantis, in their most secured level of the prison. Arthur and Mara are in the same cell on a different level than Terror. Terror is in the bottom depths of the prison, but the king and queen of Atlantis are in the middle area of the prison, heavily guarded. As we cut back to Gotham, where All For One is still standing on the building, staring down upon the streets of Gotham City. You got here sooner than I originally thought. Hello, Batman. What are you doing in my city, All For One? I'm surprised you know of me. I know all about you from All Might. Unlike the rest of the League, I took his warning seriously. It's quite simple, detective. My beloved has caught a very nasty disease, and I want you to cure it. You I fight crime. I am no doctor. Even the great detective can't find a cure. I suspect you know people that can. That can cure my beloved wife. You see, I sent out many of my nomus to each big player in Gotham City. Did my wife or watch the city burn? My nomus are not as unique as terror, but they do the job necessary. But they'll do the job. They'll do the job just the same. What do you mean by that? I got the assumption he was unique, one of a kind. Terror wasn't wrong. He is very unique. He's a hybrid nomu. Nomus that are currently in your city has lost their minds long ago. Think of them like living weapons. I have complete control over their actions. Eventually, the general population will be targeted and killed. That will give you enough motivation to find a cure. You have 48 hours. If you don't find a cure, I will rain down an army of Nomu upon Gotham City, and I'll kill every man, woman, and child. Give him the case. Master, I do apologize for this, Mr. Batman, but it would be your best interest to find a cure, and find it fast. My master is not known for his patience. Be back in 48 hours. You have a long night ahead of you, Batman. Even if you find someone that is the same level as Superman's caliber and strength, you're going to have a hard time taking down my nomus before they kill their targets. I've already gave them the order to kill all the big hitters. I expect some good news when I return, as a portal opened up as All for One was about to step through it before Batman spoke up. All for One stopped in his tracks. No, I don't take threats very likely, All for One. By the end of this, All for One, I'm going to put you behind bars. All for One starts to cackle at his response, and people say you don't have a sense of humor. As All for One stepped through the portal, leaving Batman by himself, clenching his teeth and tightening his fists, picking up the case and opening it up to see several vials of blood as he closes it. Batman activated his transporter as he teleported up towards the space station. Back at Atlantis, each time Terra would try to use his physical strength to escape the cell door, the door refuses to budge. Apparently, the prison is fortified by Atlantean magic and technology. Even with his superior strength, not even Superman would be able to escape in one of these cells just by using his strength alone. Even his high condensed water shots can't penetrate the shielding. A visible force stops his attack before it could even hit the door from his water bullets or from his physical fist. Nothing seemed to be working. This is not going to get me anywhere. I could fully admit he caught me. He caught me by surprise. Whatever that device is, it's quite painful, and it disrupts my train of thought. I can't actually use my abilities while that thing is active. Well played, Food. Well played. He might be the king of Atlantis for now. He won't be for long. Now, how can I manipulate this in my favor? Let's see. Even if I manage to get out of Atlantis, I need allies. Not only with all the Atlantean soldiers under Ocean Master, that at least that apparently that's what he proclaimed himself is by discarding his old name and betraying his own brother. Prince Shark would seem to be quite a intelligent leader. I might have to go to their territory. Don't know how to deal with these. Then Black Manta is a possibility. Mother did mention to me that he has some sort of grudge. I might be able to manipulate him to helping us. Apparently, Black Manta, but he's food to me, has some sort of hatred towards my mother's husband and entire Atlantis people in general. It's a good thing the food didn't search my body, or they would have found the communicator that I got from Mongol. As Izuku activated his communicator, he's already messed with it. He always has a direct line with his mother. He's already created a second device for Inko in case of emergencies like this. As he contacts his mother, sweetheart, what can I do for you? If you're contacting me through this method, then something's wrong. Even though you haven't told me how you got these things, or how you got the blueprints, but I guess everyone has their secrets. So what can I do for you, son? You're curious how I know this technology and how I got the blueprints, but but I'll save that for a later time. I'm a bit of a dilemma mother. Apparently the half-brother of Aquaman betrayed Arthur and took his throne and put me alongside with my Atlantean mother in prison. I need a aqua-type nomu to break me out of this cell. I can't break it out on my own, apparently. It's enforced with Atlantean magic with tech. It's quite fascinating, really. I've done all I can. I've tried everything to break through, but no success. All I need is someone to break me out, and I could do the rest on my own. Ocean Master is not is planning a full-scale war with the whole surface world. To be taken out as soon as possible before he causes any trouble. That's troubling. Normally, I would have contacted your father. Kirigiri has the portal ability, but he's currently not at the base currently, or his normal spot. He's currently out. It must be important. I'll send a whole group of water-based nomu to your location. I should be able to pinpoint where you're at by using your communicator as a beacon. What do you plan to do when you escape Atlantis? Gather some allies and start my own revolution. I know of one ally is most likely guaranteed. Contact you once they're on their way. Thanks, Mom. And sweetheart, make sure you don't have too much fun now. I feel sorry for Arthur's brother. Just don't make his death too quick. It's not, Mother. His death will be very slowly and painfully. After all, I need to make an example out of him, so people understand that it's not very healthy to get in my way. Bill cackles at her son. You've definitely inherited your father's ruthlessness in my brain. A very dangerous combination. Predator doesn't show any mercy. It just simply kills. They do. I'll contact you once they're en route. Replace the round flat communicator on the side of his neck, right underneath his ear, as Terror simply waited. As much as he wants to rescue his Atlantean mother himself, he suspects Ocean Master has it heavily guarded. He suspects the food is not a complete idiot. It would be way too heavily guarded for him alone. He'll have to come back or use the nomu to rescue his mother. It all depends on the number that his human mother sends him. He needs to get out of here and gather some allies. That's the first move he needs to do after he escapes, regardless if he rescues his mother or not. It almost guaranteed and Terra knows it's pretty much a guarantee that the Atlantean that's on Paradise Island will help. After all, she is his mother's teacher. He's heard of her several occasions from his mother. Apparently, she was a very impressive student when Mara was teaching Yuri magic, Atlantean magic. The island is forbidden for men, so that might be a tad bit problematic for Terror. And the island itself is shielded off like it's in his own dimension. That's another problem he has to figure out, but he'll worry about that at a later time, as Terra could hear yelling and fighting from the hallway. Inko made contact a few minutes afterwards and informed her the Nomos are on their way if they're not already there already. As the cell doors open, Terror walk out of the cell to see very interesting looking Aqua Nomos as they all bow in front of Terror. I want half of you to cause havoc around the castle. And the rest of you, I want you to free Arthur and Mara. I don't care if the male food is alive or not, but it would be problematic if he would have if he would die during the escape attempt. But the woman must survive at all cost. Do I make myself clear? As all the Nomu shake their head up and down in acknowledgement, as as the Aqua Nomus immediately begin their own missions that was given by Terror. Terror found it odd that he's always had the ability somehow the Nomus would listen to him, listen to his orders without question, and he has a psychic link. He's able to talk to the Nomu psychically to give him orders. Fortunately, there's not enough of the Aqua Nomus to use a full frontal assault to take over Atlantis. The Nomus that are currently in the sea are powerful, but they're still low-end Nomus at the end of the day. They're just not enough. He doesn't know what this trench is capable of, or what the Trench Queen is, or who she is, or how powerful she is. He might not be able to take over Atlantis with the Nomu itself, but they will be a great asset in future battles. Terror sent a message, yeah, you know what I mean, to all the Nomus that are currently in the process of rescuing Arthur and Mara. The Nomu was able, Izuku was able to take brief control over the Nomu, as Terror would take over the consciousness and relay to his mother what's going on, what's the plan, and told him to meet him at Old Atlantis in the old castle ruin in the throne room where they first met. With the Nomus causing mass chaos around the castle, Arthur and Mara was able to escape unnoticed. Once the lanterns were safely got to the safety, well, try this again. Once the lanterns were safely got some distance from the capital, all the Nomus retreated and returned to Terror's side. Terror swimming through the old Atlantean territory. Izuku noticed nothing really had changed much. There's no predator tried to claim his territory while he's away. There's a bit more sea life in his territory, but no predators in sight. So he swam towards the castle. After learning about the Atlantean tech from Atlantis, he was able to deactivate the portal that is stopping the water from entering the throne room. When he deactivated it, the water filled the throne room instantly. Terror made himself comfortable and sat on the throne, waiting for his mother to arrive with that food that she married, that likes to go by Arthur, but he refuses to use his name. The first ones that did return were the Aqua Nomu, as they're standing by his side waiting for their next orders, as Terra had them stand down for now. I want half of you to patrol my territory. I want the rest of you to patrol the castle and immediately inform me when the Atlanteans enter my territory. Do not harm them. Now you have your orders. Now get going.